The End of Oak Street is a sci-fi horror movie made in 2026 by the prestigious J.J. Abrams, who's known to have made such movies as Cloverfield, Mission Impossible, the other Star Wars movies, Star Trek, and, of course, Armageddon. I have a good feeling about this. Now, obviously, I haven't actually seen the movie yet. I'm recording this first section the night before I saw it. So, good night, everyone. Okay, I'm back. So, anyway, there was this girl right here, Denise, and her family that lives on Oak Street in the 1980s. So, this movie takes place in the 80s, but it feels like that way, but it's kind of like in a subtle way where it can sort of be dubious whether it actually takes place in the 80s, but like there's just one 80s song. Like it's not like completely flown in your face like that. Overall, the trailer, I think I'd give it about 7.2 out of 10. You know, it did a pretty good job at introducing the film and what it was going to be like, but it only shows one gore scene. But in this movie, there's at least 15 gore scenes. This woman, Denise, who looks like a cross between my English teacher and Jenna Ortega but isn't, loses her husband in the most upfront and terrifying way possible. Sorry. But then it all comes together in a happy ending, so, you know, I guess it's fine, you know. I guess it's that kind of horror movie. And as for the gore scenes themselves, like, I'm always constantly yelling at the screen. Like, exactly how you'd imagine it. Like, most people do that in their head, but no, I'm fully going for it. Most of the cinemas I watched this in were not even half full anyway. The characters are also pretty good as well. Like, you know, we have Denise, Brian, Greg, and I can't remember this girl's one to save my life, so I'm just going to call her Ashley. Now, for Denise and Greg, the parents, I feel like their familial connection is much more convincing in this one than with the children. They bicker and get into fights all the time, but there are other times when they stop fighting and just look at how beautiful the world is around them. And as for the kids, well, I feel like the best acted or most convincing kids in this movie would probably just be the side background characters that Simon or Brian or whatever his name is hangs out with at the start of the movie. But these two children seem to have more of a convincing familial tie to their parents than to each other. Overall, 8.1 out of 10. And now we have the plot, which isn't really anything special. Like, I can just describe it in like 2 minutes, maybe less than that. So basically, there's this family, actually a whole street or neighborhood, that gets entirely swapped out with prehistoric jungle and the dinosaurs that are with it. So now it's just surrounded by dinosaurs and they start coming in and kill everybody except for our main protagonist, because, you know, obviously. And so then from there it's just a constant rinse and repeat cycle of someone goes missing, they all go out in a search party and get lost. They find someone new, they go back home without realizing someone else is gone, rinse and repeat. Except for that only happens one time because this movie is only an hour and 40 minutes long. The Minecraft's movie's about the same length as that, but it felt so much longer when I watched it in cinemas. This is because this movie has very weird pacing issues. The first 20 minutes of the movie is in the real world, and then the next 20 minutes after that are just them waffling about trying to get back into the real world by car and stuff, as if that's gonna work. Then getting chased by dinos, then going back inside and blah 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 blah. Then, at like 55 minutes in, I think, then Brian goes missing trying to look for their dog Starbucks, so now they need to organize a whole search party to go looking for him. And then they found him and some other orphan girl about like an hour 15 minutes in. So then they have to run from a dino, and so by the 1 hour 30 minute mark, we've pretty much done most of the action, so now all there is to do is just get out of there, and they finally crack the code, so they get out. And then the last 5 minutes is just a documentary about how Denise got out back in time before it would actually about to go or something, like it's time travel-y sort of thing. But then she was able to warn everyone before it got replaced with Amazonian forest. So she saved a lot of lives that day, and this is a documentary about that. And then it just ends. Overall, 6.8 out of 10. And just before the video ends, because I didn't have anywhere else to put this, they never once say the word dinosaur or any of the dinosaurs' names for that matter in this movie at all. Don't you find that kind of strange? Anyway, my final rating for this movie will be strongly 7.7 out of 10. Goodbye, everyone. Love you all.